Managers Law Committee. First item of business is to take roll. Madam Counsel.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Kuhn,
Here.
Reedy,
Here.
Feeney, Larilliard, and McLaughlin are excused. Klatsky. Here. Ricard.
Present.
Bergdorf.
Here.
And Pearlie.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Fantastic. All right, first item on the agenda is approving the previous meeting's minutes. Have a motion, Mr. Reedy, Mr. Ricard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. All right, as we often do, we are going to go a little bit out of order. We're going to go straight to number 17, which is authorizing an agreement with the New York State Department of Criminal Justice Services regarding sexual assault services program funding. And I believe we have Amanda Wingle, Director of the Albany County Crime Victim and Sexual Violence Center. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight to ask permission to enter into a contract with the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services to accept sexual assault service provider funding in the amount of $17,357.30. So this covers the period from July 1st of this year to June 30th of next year. And these grants are really used to to fund the rape crisis portion of our programming. So things like hotline coverage, forensic exam accompaniments, trauma therapy, case management for sexual assault survivors, and things of that nature.
Great. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Ms. Reedy, Ms. Bergdorf, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you
good
all.
evening. Okay, next item on the agenda, I believe we have several items on the agenda from the County Board of Elections. So I believe Rachel Bleddy, the
Good evening, everyone.
Republican Election Commissioner.
Sometimes. Yes, that's my
is
title.
here tonight. So Ms. Bleddy, first we'll just go one at a time.
Sure.
18 is amending the 2025 Board of Elections budget, electronic poll book grant. Want to talk about that one?
Electronic poll book grant, yeah, let me just see. So 18 is, okay. So the board is seeking approval for a budget amendment to help cover the unanticipated costs associated with the purchase of replacement of iPads used as electronic poll books on Election Day. Those are the pads that you guys come into the polling place and that the poll inspectors use to bring up your record to vote. In order to facilitate this, we would like to move some money around in our budget, which is available. We want to move $200,000 from our Election Day staffing line, which is 19975, to our election equipment line, 22900, and then an additional $59,726 from our Election Day staffing line to our fees for services line, 44046. The funds will be used to cover $323,410 in equipment and services needed to upgrade our equipment. Essentially, we had to replace all our iPads, which we were able to purchase through a grant available through the State Board of Elections. However, there is some equipment that we need to now retrofit and purchase in order to be able to use these new iPads, which we were forced to buy by the state because after this year, our old iPads will no longer be certified for use. So although this purchase was unanticipated, the funds are available in our budget, and that is because we didn't have countywide primaries. So because of that, we were able to save some money in our Election Day staffing line, and I figured rather than ask for more money, just move some money around to accommodate this enormous purchase that we have to make and is mandatory under the law. So we seek your approval for the budget amendment.
Great. Thank you for that. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that?
So this won't, so this should not or will not affect like staffing on like general election? years
No,
coming up?
it will not, because I budget according to anticipated need per election.
Got it, okay.
Ms. Willingham?
Yes. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
So my first question is, what happens to the old iPads?
Good question. We are actually able to trade them in. towards the new purchase. And because they're only Generation 6, the majority of them, with a few being Generation 9, and some before that, it's not going to be worth much, unfortunately. As you're aware, technology really does kind of change day to day. So Generation 6 iPads versus Generation 11 iPads, that's a big leap and a little bit of a bridge to, to kind of, so.
And so my second question is, how soon will the iPads, the new ones, be used?
So we first have to purchase this equipment to retrofit it, but they will be used if approved. And the purchase is before you today. There's a resolution in front of you at this meeting, and it will be used in not this coming general election, but for 2026 it will be used.
Okay.
We can no longer use the existing pads.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any comments or questions? Okay, then can I have a motion on this? Mr. Ricard, Mr. Breedy? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, that motion carries. Item 19 is amending resolution number 779 for 2024 regarding the New York State Board of Elections electronic poll book grant.
Yes, the board is seeking approval for extension of a contract with the New York State Board of Elections for an electronic poll book grant, which provides $236,701 in reimbursable funds for expenses related to electronic poll books and associated software, on-demand ballot printers, and any related, equipment and services that go along with those systems. This is a grant that you previously approved. This is an amended contract term from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2026. The original resolution approving the contract is resolution number 779 of 2024, which only went until 2025. So the board has already purchased $119,994 worth, $119,000 essentially worth of new iPads, and we're going to seek reimbursement for those iPads through this particular grant. So this is just an approval for extension of this grant.
All right, great, thank you. Does anyone have any comments or questions about this particular line item? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion? Mr. Bergdorf?
Second.
Mr. Reedy? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that brings us to number 20. Authorizing an agreement with Knowink
Yes.
LLC for the purchase of iPad-related equipment and software.
So Knowink is our poll book and ballot on demand vendor. They are on the OGS state contract, so it would be sole source to our system. So we're requesting approval for the purchase of the iPad-related equipment and software that I discussed earlier, totaling $323,410, a portion of which, again, is reimbursable under the electronic poll book grant. And then, of course, we would help cover with the previously approved budget amendment.
Great. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this line item? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion? Mr. Ricard? Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Reedy? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that motion carries. Item number 21 is amending resolution number 568 for 2024 regarding the New York State Board of Elections Cybersecurity Remediation Grant Program.
Again, this is a previously approved grant by the body. This is just merely an extension of the term of the agreement, and it's called the Election Cybersecurity Remediation Grant, which is through the New York State Board of Elections. The original amount that was allocated was $145,219. We've used the majority of it. We only have $38,000 left. We anticipate using the remaining funds with intense cybersecurity training for our staff, along with replacement of any necessary computer equipment. So again, this is purely reimbursable grant. So the majority of the funds are for anything that we purchase will come out of the state grant rather than the county.
Okay, great. Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Reedy, can I have a second? Bergdorf, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. And sorry, nothing stopped here. Was that 21 or 22?
Yeah, ballot by mail grant.
22. Amending resolution number 778 for 2024 regarding the New York State Board of Elections ballot by mail grant.
Again, this is another contractual approval that previously approved by this body. This in an amended term for a ballot by mail grant that we have received through the New York State Board of Elections, totaling $123,995. We did purchase a high-speed absentee ballot scanner, which helps accelerate election results, and we're going to anticipate using the approved funds towards that purchase, so the county will be reimbursed for like 90% of that purchase of that machine.
Great, thank you. Does anyone have any comments, questions on this one? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion? Mr. Reedy? Mr. Bergdorf? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that motion carries. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice evening.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Item 23 is amending the 2025 Law Department budget administrative adjustments. Is someone here from the Law Department? Okay.
Sorry, the county attorney was not able to make it today, so he asked me to jump in here in his absence. This is just a standard budget neutral budget amendment. He's taken money out of 2 positions that were vacant earlier in the year to backfill some contractual lines. I believe his fees for service was under budgeted for the year. He found out after he came into the office. These numbers have all been taken into account in the 2026 budget submission, so we should not have this issue next year for these.
Okay. Comments or questions about this? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Mr. Reedy, Mr. Ricard, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna go back up to the top of our agenda, item number 2. Items number 2 through 17 are all, 2 through 14, 2 through 13, all tabled at request of sponsor. So that brings us to item 14, which is a public hearing on proposed local law number H for 2025, a local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 135 of the Albany County Code to fund the development of parts and components of advanced nuclear technologies. Mr. Bergdorf, this is your item?
Yes, it is. I have 2 things
Talk about
actually,
this.
and I don't know, we did this in Conservation and Environmental Services, but the original public hearing date was for September, and obviously we don't have a public hearing in September. So I am proposing to move it out to November on the basis that I wanted to skip a month so that if folks had any suggestions for the actual text that I have in the legislation, they could submit whatever language we have, which you have for consideration to make it comfortable for everyone to do. And I don't know, do you want to take the amendment first, or would you like me to say something?
Why don't we deal with the amendment, and
Okay.
then you can address the substance. So, and then we have a motion to amend Resolution 372 to change the date from September 23rd for the public hearing to November 25th. I'll second that motion. Or, yeah.
I can make the motion.
Oh, okay.
The motion made, I'll make the motion.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Then, all in favor of amending the resolution for that date amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay. Now you want to talk about the substance?
Sure. I want to hand these out. I'm sorry, I have 2 versions of it. I had the leftovers from...
What is it that you're handing out?
It is a sample of the types of industries that could be considered components of a nuclear program. Just want to take a look at how we got here. We have the STAGE Act, obviously, in Albany County, which we put in $5-6 million with over the years to make the county a smarter place for environmental remediation and also energy programs. And what we have seen recently in the field of energy is that the emphasis on wind and solar, while very, very valuable, has to a certain degree declined because of economic problems with wind and solar. And it's happening not just in New York State, but it's happening across the nation and across the world. I still believe we need for energy an all of the above theory. And I guess I was encouraged when Governor Hochul did a 180 and actually ordered the Public Service Commission and NYSERDA to develop a nuclear power plant in New York State. We know that we have an energy crisis. We know that we can't meet existing demand for energy on the trajectory that we're going. We know there's has been an effort to close fossil fuel facilities, and we know that there are all sorts of difficulties with expanding natural gas plants, pipelines, and et cetera. But it has become very obvious that nuclear power is going through its cyclic development cycle, where now across the nation they are reopening nuclear power plants. Governor Whitmer in Michigan is reopening a plant. There is even discussions about reopening one of the Indian Point 2 plants. And if you follow the press, Microsoft and Amazon and the big chip plant facilities are talking about having their own dedicated mini modular nuclear facilities. And we know that New York State is all in on chips, fab, and AI. So I think what we're going to see happen is, following the governor's lead, people are going to become more realistic about how do we provide the amount of energy that our grid needs going forward in the future. And this is not a tomorrow thing. This is going to take time. But as we have tried to be at the front edge of green technologies, hydrogen technologies, et cetera, the nuclear industry is going to be coming back in the state of New York. I mean, it's, if you take a look at the percentage of energy now that's derived from wind and solar and gas and oil and nuclear, wind and solar are going down and the percentages of the other are coming up. So I would like to see us at least be welcoming of supportive nuclear technology subcontractors and suppliers and experts. I specifically say in the legislation that is not for the development of a nuclear power plant in Albany County. That's not what I'm looking to achieve. But, you know, we have GE in Schenectady that also builds turbines for nuclear reactors around the world. And, you know, they were all in on the wind and solar. They were all in on the turbines for wind and solar. But they're an example of the type of subcontractors in this industry that could benefit from an operation potentially in Albany County. So this is aspirational. Like I say, it's not going to change anything tomorrow, but it will put us in a position where, I mean, it's still discretionary. Somebody comes to the Albany Alliance and says, we are nuclear engineers and we want to open up a little think tank so that the players in New York State can have access to our technology, our training. I mean, we have Knowles Atomic, there are a number of reactors in this area. I'll stop now. But I think you've got a sense as to what I'm talking about. And I tried to keep the language simple. And, but I'm very interested, if anybody has any suggestions for improvement, I'm very, very open to considering them. Before the legal deadline to, go to publication.
Mr. Reed?
We're just voting on the public hearing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm good with that. There's a lot to take in, but no, we have a public hearing in November. I'm not an anti-nuclear energy person, so I look forward to hearing with the public or any discussion on it and then move ahead. So I'm very good with moving this out to the public hearing.
Did you say something?
No, I just said so am I. And I think we do have, like Paul alluded to, we have a shortage of energy. It's going to be progressively worse into the future, so I think that's potential.
So what, the thing you handed out, what is the significance of this?
Well, let me tell you, the significance of this was a learning experience for me. I took the heading off, which I'll now confess. I downloaded ChatGPT on my computer, and I said, ChatGPT, would you give me a list of the major players in the nuclear energy field in the United States and the types of subcontractors and suppliers that support them? And lo and behold, this is what I got. And rather than me writing down 4 or 5 things that I knew about, I could be in a position to show people that there are a bunch of suppliers and, major firms, worldwide firms, that do this across America. I'm sort of sorry to see there's some from China in here, but, we're going to own TikTok soon, so I guess that's a good thing. But that's what it is. And I got a footnote with, I got it from ChatGPT. My first foray into AI.
You didn't have ChatGPT write the law itself, I
No. He's a real lawyer for that. RL. Real lawyer.
Yeah, let me just, on it's really, there's 2 changes that this would propose to, I guess, the Stage Act, right? The first is a new section of the legislative findings and intent. So that's not, that isn't necessarily operative, but it's really it's this extra sentence in the definition of green business. And for purposes of this definition, clean energy sources shall include any part or component of an advanced nuclear technology as defined by NYSERDA or NYPA. Do you mean I'm just in terms of defined where by NYSERDA or NYPA, in like regulatory, you know what I mean? Like that's a little vague. If you're asking for potential suggestions, I would be more specific about that.
Learned counsel.
Like defined where.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my only observation about that.
So to your specific question, Chairman, right now where it stands is the governor has directed them to come out with a planning document.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why there's no statutory or regulatory reference because it hasn't been created, but those are the 2 entities that are gonna jointly issue a planning document per the governor's direction.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay.
Make the motion.
All right, motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's that.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your comments.
Okay, so, hold on a second. So that brings us to 15 is public hearing on proposed local law number G for 2025, a local law designating the development of affordable housing as a governmental and public purpose of the County of Albany, New York. We voted on this, right?
Yes.
One of the reasons why we're back at a public hearing on this is I had recently made some adjustments to the public hearing. I did not make them in time, so we needed to go back through that process again.
Oh, okay. What were the changes?
The changes are highlighted. It's the first is the change of the definition of support, there's the defining of support services in D. The exclusion of what would have been under section 4B4, that's coming out. Section 4B3, the reference to the word grant inside of the document is also coming out. As well as, I believe that's the last major change. All the rest of them are the removal of the grant language. After the commentary in both the public hearing and in the last committee meeting, I felt that the support services definition was a clearer and better way of analyzing what it is we were trying to do, because we wanted to get away from the concept of this being free money being handed out as opposed to a service being provided for the developers to increase the supply of affordable housing.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? Mr. Reedy?
I'll make the motion.
Move it, all right, any seconds? Mr. Hurley? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries, thank you. That brings us to, okay, so 16 is tabled by operation of rules, right? Pending public hearing. And then that's it. We're done. Oh, okay, motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Reedy? Second. Card.